The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup. The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup. Say a little prayer for you. The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. I'm combing my hair now and wondering what dress to wear now. I say a little prayer for you. Forever, ever, ever, stay in my heart and I will love you. Forever, ever, ever, together, how it must be to live when I do what only me heartbreak for me. I run for the bus stand, but while riding I think of us. I say a little prayer for you. At work, I just take time, and all through my coffee break time, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, ever, ever, stay in my heart and I will love you. Forever, ever, ever, together, how it must be to live without you. But only me heartbreak for me. Nobody but me. Forever, ever, stay in my heart and I will love you. Forever, together, how it must be to live without you. But only me heartbreak for me. My darling, believe me, for me there is no one but you. Please love me too. I'm in love with you. Answer my prayer. Answer my prayer, baby. Answer my prayer. Say you love me too. Answer my prayer. Answer my prayer, baby. Answer my prayer. Yeah. Believe me, for me there is no one but you. Please love me too. This is my prayer. Answer my prayer now, answer my prayer. This is my prayer. Answer it right now, answer my prayer. Say you love me too. Answer my prayer. This is my prayer. Answer my prayer. Oh boy, I had to play that one song because that was my favorite song when I was 3 years old. I still have the memory of helping my mother. I don't remember what party she was throwing for who and what reason, but my mother never had to have a reason to throw a party because she was a party animal. But we were preparing for some get together she was having in the basement. I remember bringing the plastic forks and spoons and knives down the steps with her while she had some other stuff, but I was carrying the little bucket and we were in the basement. She had a 8-track player and she had Aretha Franklin playing. Aretha Franklin was one of my mother's favorite singers. I would say, if I'm not mistaken, I think Aretha Franklin was my mother's favorite singer. She enjoyed other people. She hated Eartha Kitt. But Aretha Franklin, her and my aunt Carrie, I'll get to them too later on. But this particular day, I'm 3 years old and we're in the basement and she got the 8-track tape in. This is before the cassettes. These were like big cassette tapes, if you want to call them that. But they were huge, 8-track. And it stuck into the side of her 8-track player. And I remember hearing this song, and then the other songs played on. And I remember asking my mom, I want to hear that song again. And she's like, what song? And I remember her going through the songs until she found the song I wanted to hear. And it was this one, I Say a Little Prayer. I knew good music when I heard it, even when I was 3 years old. Aretha Franklin has been a staple throughout my entire life, and just hearing her music and with her passing, it just makes me think of my parents. There's another Aretha Franklin song that I can't really listen to, and it's Ain't No Way, because that makes me think of my parents deeply. And it kind of makes me sad whenever I hear her sing that song. And that song, Respect. I'm 51 years old. That song came out 51 years ago, you know. She recorded that song, or at least that's when it was released. And it's a beautiful thing, 51 years later, you can go into a first grade classroom and ask little children to sing that Respect song by Aretha Franklin, and they'll jump up and scream, RESPECT. 6-year-olds are singing this 51-year-old song by Aretha Franklin. One of the things I admired about her that was like so cool, and I guess this is why she's the queen, she changed with the music. She didn't stay stagnant in her craft. I would play some videos, but I'm not trying to get my channel shut down. But just for an example, if you pull up Aretha Franklin, Everyday People, matter of fact, I'll post it in the chat, the link. This song she did in the 90s, and if you look at this video, how old was Aretha in the 90s? She could have been early 50s at the time. And it's a 90s song with a 90s beat, and it's a 90s video. And you look at the way she's dressed, she's dressed a little hip hop, but it was cool. It wasn't like, oh, this is an old woman that thinks she's still young, still trying to be young, and her days are over with. It wasn't, you don't even get that from her. But she's dressed hip hopish. And this is Aretha. She grew with the changing of music, and this woman could sing anything. She can sing blues, jazz. The only thing Aretha didn't do was rap. And maybe she does have a song she was rapping on. She probably did, because she just did everything. And she could even sing opera. The story goes, it was the Grammys a few years ago. In the chat room is the link to Everyday People, the video I was just talking about. But the story goes, it was the Grammys a few years ago, and there was an opera singer, Pavarotti, a big old fat white man. For some reason, he was sick. He was supposed to perform, and this was like 20 minutes before he was supposed to go on stage. And they came to Aretha and asked her to sing this opera song. And she said, well, just play me the song how he sings. And she listened to it, and she said, I can do it. And she went up there, got on stage in 20 minutes of preparation and sang the hell out of this song. I don't think there's any other artist who can pull that off the way Aretha did. Aretha is not only the queen of soul to me, she's definitely the queen of shade. I don't remember her being so blunt as she has been in the last decade or so, or maybe she's always been this way. I don't recall it, but yeah, she's been shady in the last decade, and I think that comes with age. You know, after you hit a certain age, you're just gonna say what's on your mind, and you don't really give a damn how people take it. That's not always a good thing. Um, yeah, I can recall my mother when she got up in age. It was like, she see a relative or somebody, old family friend she ain't seen in a while, and after the hug and kiss, she stepped back and looked at me like, damn, you got fat. You'd be like, oh Lord. But that just reminds me of Aretha. Aretha gonna say what's on her mind. Um, I tell you, for the past 15 years, I would get a tickle out of Aretha. And I have been clowning her for the past 15 years because, Aretha is the queen of soul. And I think it was her ex-husband, Glenn Turman, said that she was stubborn. And once she got something in her mind, it just wasn't going to change. You couldn't change it. Her mind was made up. And that is so true because Aretha will come out on national TV or in concerts, fat as hell, but wearing skinny people gowns. I think when you get a certain weight, you can no longer wear spaghetti straps. I mean, she got bat wings going on and these big old titties, and sometimes they were damn near down to her knees. And those titties, can we talk about those Aretha titties? That's what I've been clowning and chuckling about her for the past, but in love, you know. I've been clowning and chuckling in love because I love Aretha. But I would see pictures of her. There's one picture, I don't know what Aretha is wearing, but she's wearing a strand of pearls. And one thing about Aretha, she loved to show off her boobies. Honey, don't let me get a picture. Anyway, let me just, I'm just jumping from one thing. There's just so much I want to say. Okay, let's talk about Aretha's boobies. The dresses she has been wearing in the past 15 years were dresses that she would wear in her younger and formative days. The only thing now is that she's 150 pounds heavier, maybe even 200 pounds. She's still wearing these type of dresses, cleavage showing and everything. But there's a picture of her sitting down. She's wearing a strand of pearls that were all just tucked down between the boobs, like they was just screaming for dear life to get set free. Aretha just loved to show her boobs. And this wasn't nothing new when she got fat. I found some old pictures. Aretha, you see boobs first, and then you see the rest of the dress. I used to chuckle at her because she would wear some stuff on stage that would make her absolutely look ridiculous. And it's like, I know Aretha got people around her. And there's nobody who said, Aretha, you really shouldn't be wearing that dress. You shouldn't wear that gown. Or, Aretha, no. And maybe somebody did, and she probably chewed them out. Because, Aretha was the queen of soul, and she was going to wear whatever the hell she wanted to wear. And I guess she figured once I get on this stage and open my mouth and start singing, ain't nobody going to be worrying about this gown anyway. I can only surmise. But yeah, Aretha has given me some good laughs over the past 15 years with her wardrobe. But this is just a grand loss. It's interesting that the king of rock and roll, which was Elvis, died on August 16th in the 70s, 77, 78, one of them damn years. And also the queen of soul died on August 16th. The king of rock and roll and the queen of soul both died on the same date. Isn't that interesting? And as a matter of fact, since everybody's trending and talking about this damn Madonna, Madonna's birthday is August 16th as well. She turned 60. I guess she thought it was all going to be about her, but, you know, she got upstaged by Aretha. Well, nobody talking about Madonna. Why they chose her to pay tribute to Aretha, why they even chose her to pay tribute to Prince, I don't know. But I got a phone call and said, oh, yeah, Aretha upstaged Madonna. I got all giddy and happy because I thought that meant that Madonna kicked the bucket too. So I'm running to CNN waiting to see that little ticker go across the bottom of the screen, Madonna dead at 59 or however old that bitch is. But no, they meant that, well, it was her birthday and Aretha died on her birthday. What a grand disappointment that was. I can't stand Madonna. But this ain't about Madonna. This is about Aretha. Aretha, the queen of soul. And she lived up to that title. And as I mentioned before, she transcended along with the music. She changed with the music. She's kept up with the times. You know, there's a lot of artists that were born in the 30s and popular in the 40s and 50s and 60s. And once disco came in, that was it for their career. But with every genre of music that stepped in, the queen reigned. She still reigned. She reigned until her last breath. That is the queen of soul. There's so many things that are admirable about this woman who was born on March 25th, 1942. How she worked and marched with Dr. King and was a grand part of the civil rights movement. I don't know. I don't know if there's anybody in this generation who their music permeates their home as Aretha's music permeated my home and many others in my generation. And just moving up in the 70s, the mid 70s, Aretha had a gospel album out. It's a brown cover. She got like a turban on. She's dressing sort of like brown. She's sitting on steps. I don't know. I just remember the album cover. By then, we didn't have no more 8-track tapes. We had albums. And I just remember my Aunt Carrie coming over and my mom, they sit in the kitchen and drinking and playing numbers and talking, but they would play this Aretha Franklin gospel album. I think it's the greatest selling gospel album of all time still. But we would have to, we the kids, meaning, have to put that record on and they would just play it from beginning to end over and over. And there were times, you know, the music would just overtake them to the point they would just sit there in silence, just listening to her voice and the lyrics she was singing. You know, I remember these things. I remember how much they loved Aretha, how much my mom loved Aretha, how much, I mean, I can't even go on and play every song that I loved from Aretha Franklin. I just can't do it. It's just too many of them. I can't even think of one song that I don't like from Aretha Franklin. There's not one song that I can say, oh, I don't like that song that she did. Not one. Not one. Another song is Call Me that I love dearly. Of course, Natural Woman. Um, so many, so many. I just need to take a break because I have just been rambling on, but I'm going to play this song, Everyday People. This is that 90s song, that 90s video. The link is in the chat. You can check it out. You know what? That wasn't the link to the video. My bad. That's just the link to the song. But I'm going to find the link to the video. Why is it so slow? But yeah, just bear with me. She just looks great. Her weight fluctuated throughout her career. It really did. But here's a song. After the ad, of course. In a few seconds, I just muted it. I hate when the ads come on. It's so annoying. Don't nobody want to see your ad. And I hate when they say video will play after the ad. So you got to wait. That's so intrusive. And everyday people. Yo, gang, let's kick the balloons. Let's party big time.
Hey, right.
Yep, that was Everyday People in a very funky video. I told you, Aretha kept up with the different genres of music and the changing of style and time. She, whatever era that was out, blues, she got that. Gospel, okay, that was her grassroots. She recorded bangers throughout the disco era. No matter what era of music, Aretha was part of the fabric. And that is, in essence, or is indeed the essence of a true artist. The voice that she had was just amazing. Amazing. You can't compare it to anyone else. You can't say, well, who's a better singer, Aretha or Whitney? You know, when God blesses you with a gift, you know, it's never a situation where one is better than the other. They're just magnificent in their own right. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this still in the name of RESPECT for the late, great Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin died on the 16th. It is the 21st of August. She will not have a funeral or be buried until 10 more days from now, the last day of the month. Why she's still going to be on this earth for the next 2 weeks? Because she's the queen. She probably wanted it that way. Told them, take your time. Don't y'all rush to put me in the ground. I'm going to be there for a long time anyway, so y'all take your time. And so the family, it has made some arrangements where on the 28th and the 29th, Aretha Franklin will be laid out at a museum somewhere in Detroit. I forgot, the African American Museum or something, for those 2 days from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I'm really thinking about making my way to Detroit to pay my respects. That will not be me, Madam Whip-assing Aretha's viewing. No, that's not what that's about. I'm considering it. And then on that Thursday, on the 30th, the family is planning a musical tribute. Where that is to be announced, I'm sure they're going to have to rent out a stadium or someplace. And then that Friday, the 31st, it will be a very private funeral for family and friends. I would like it to be televised like the way they did Whitney. We shall see. It can happen. It can happen. I think everyone should be able to attend her funeral, even if it's just watching on TV. I mean, that's good enough for me. But that's my opinion, but I ain't the family. My opinion don't mean nothing. Right, Retha? Right. So those are the plans. And I guess if they're going to have a musical tribute, they would need 2 weeks because, you know, you got to secure the place. You got to get all the people who are going to perform. There's rehearsals and stuff. So that takes time. They're trying to get that all done in 2 weeks because they have to send Aretha home in a way that is befitting for a queen. So if they need another week to do that, hey, it is what it is. I've been hearing some things, and I've even called some older relatives about it. And it was brought to my attention. I knew it, but I just never really thought about it. But Aretha had two children by the time she was 15 years old. She had her first, and she's a mother of four boys who are now men, and their ages are like 63, 61, and I think like 58 and 42. And when I called my much older cousin, who was also a Aretha Franklin fan, and she said, well, I remember hearing about this a long, 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 long time ago. And my cousin is like 20 years older than me. And so it had been said that at least the oldest son that Aretha had when she was 13 was fathered by Aretha's father, the late Reverend C.L. Franklin. And he was involved in a lot of stuff. At some point, he had gotten a 12-year-old girl pregnant. They were originally from Memphis, Tennessee. Originally, he got a 12-year-old girl pregnant, and so he had to leave that area. He was already married at the time with some children, I think, and they relocated to Buffalo, and then he relocated to Detroit. And I read a quote from Ray Charles, who talked about, in so many words, he participated in orgies with C.L. Franklin, Aretha's father, and stuff like this. And the C.L. Franklin also was like in the front line with Martin Luther King during the marches and stuff. But the talk is that he was like a real low down, dirty, philandering, cheating, child molesting, and had a child by a 12-year-old. This type of preacher. And so it was believed that the oldest son of Aretha was by her father. Now, I don't believe it at all. I don't want to believe it, frankly. But being that I have experience with dealing with adults as well as kids who have been molested, raped, had ongoing sexual relationships with their fathers, whether they were male or female children. They're different kind of people because of it. I cannot see how Aretha Franklin could have experienced this type of relationship with her father, and she still loved her father dearly. When her father was shot somewhere like in the late 70s during a robbery, I think out in Vegas at the Aladdin Hotel or something, he ended up in a coma for 5 or 6 years, but she kept him home as he was in this coma, and she took care of him. She didn't want him in a nursing home. She loved her father. I don't see her father molesting her. You can even call it rape. And she having one or possibly two children by her father and go on to achieve such grand success. 17 Grammys, so many awards and accolades she has received over the past 50 years of her career. I just don't see that happening. And we didn't hear any scandals. This is the only scandal, Aretha scandal, that's been going on since way back when. But we didn't hear any other scandals about Aretha. We didn't hear her strung out on drugs. We didn't hear anything that would kind of say, okay, yeah, maybe that's the cause of her drug issue. It's nothing there that's going to make me believe this scandal that's been going on since 30, 40 years ago, or 40, 50 years ago, you could say. You know, I can't connect the dots. And so much of Aretha is in her music. She wrote a lot of songs like Think, quite a few songs she has written. And I keep hearing people say, well, she never said who the father was of that child. She never said. And that child was raised by her grandmother, her father's mother. But she never said, well, why she got to say who the daddy is? And she named her son Clarence after her father. His name was Clarence Levon, something, Franklin. And I'm like, so a lot of people name their children after their parents or aunts or uncles. And then what does that mean? Well, she never said, it ain't nobody's damn business who the daddy was. Well, she was traveling around with her daddy singing and stuff ever since she was 10 years old. You know, he kept tight reins on her. How, when he was having orgies and all types of foolishness and philandering and getting a 12-year-old girl pregnant. Well, you know, look, while he was up in the pulpit preaching, she could have been downstairs in the basement of the church with some boy and got pregnant. We don't know why you listen. Like I started to say, Aretha put a lot of her feelings and her experiences in her songs and her music. And if you ask me, I believe that the father of Clarence, her oldest child that she had when she was 13 years old, was Jimmy Lee. You don't believe me? I'm going to let Aretha tell you for herself.
All this time, I couldn't shake your memory. And I never knew the sweetest love was a thirst. So what am I supposed to do about this curse? Oh, baby, I got you to blame. And I'm calling out your name. Oh, he's so fine. Jimmy Lee. Oh, he's so fine. Jimmy Lee. School every morning. No, yeah. Acting crazy, always laughing when I'm mourning. I knew you need me when I died. Stealing kisses in the hall before the first bell. You smell so fine. The way you touch me, but I guess you knew me so well. And you had the number to my heart now. But just between you and me, he was the first one. He stole my heart, and he ran like a bandit. I don't understand it. Jimmy, this one's for me, and I'll always remember. History, probably, in a magical December. Oh boy, Jimmy, where can you be? In this song, never find you. Won't you please explain to me why you left me behind? Yeah. Only every twice a week I see you on some avenue. Someone else will shake his head the way you used to. Yes, I got myself a loose screw. I grew share of adventure. When I got some fun, but you never need to question my intentions. The free sky is just another dreamer. Between you and me, he was first born. He stole my heart and he ran like a bandit. I don't understand it. Jimmy Lee, this one's for me, and I always remember. Hey, mom, history, biology, and that magical December. Jimmy Lee, what can you be? Give me some everything. Won't you please explain to me why you left me behind me? Jimmy Lee, Jimmy Lee. Between you and me, he stole my heart and he ran like that bandit. I don't understand it. Jimmy Lee, this one's for me, and I'll always remember history, biology, and magical. Jimmy Lee, what can you be? You're the son of a band. Yeah. Won't you please explain to me why you left me? Oh, yeah. Jimmy Lee, this one's for me. Shall we leave?
See, she told you right there. Jimmy Lee, he was the first one. He stole her heart and ran like a bandit. She just didn't understand it. She said, Jimmy Lee, if this song ever finds you. It's Jimmy Lee. Enough of that. Let's talk about Aretha Franklin and her shady moments. You know what? Let's go to the screen share. Let's start with this one here.
You thought that Halle Berry would be great playing you, and Halle said something to the effect of, I can't sing, so I wouldn't be able to do Miss Franklin justice.
I knew she couldn't sing.
Yes.
I never expected her to, and she was my first choice, but not my only choice.
Yes. Do you still want Halle to play that role?
I would like the person who's going to play me to be more confident.
I understand.
You understand? Okay.
I think that Jennifer Hudson would do a bang-up job as you.
She has a good clear voice.
A good clear voice. Then how about Fantasia Barrino?
Could be Fantasia. Could be Jennifer.
Queen Latifah?
You don't know. You don't know how that's going to turn out.
Well, I need this movie to get done, and then I want to play like a little secretary or something.
Would you be interested in helping to finance it?
Oh, well, Miss Franklin, I'm only in the second season of my show.
Okay, check's not big enough yet. All right.
My money's not.
Aguilera was good. She was feeling it.
Yeah.
Right. She was feeling it. Jennifer was good. But I particularly liked what Yolanda did with Spirit in the Dark.
Fantasia got very upset that she wasn't in the trip.
I didn't do the selection. She has to learn that you're not going to participate in everything that you might like to participate in.
You seem like the type of woman who still falls and can get as stupid as the rest of us girls.
Do you think I'm gullible?
I think that you can be.
Well,
With the right man.
yeah, no, I'm not gonna. You get stupid. I'm not gonna be stupid anymore. Executive secretary.
Where did that come from, Miss Franklin?
Well, it's just something that I felt I would have been excellent at and very good at.
Well, you know, if you were an executive assistant, this would have been you over the desk. Look, would you like your tea, boss?
That would have been you.
If I was on Dancing with the Stars, would you come and sing Rock Steady so I can dance live?
Sure.
You know how I dance? I'd be like, rock,
Step back.
steady. That's what we steady. However you want, I do it. There's no way I can come and meet the Queen without letting you sign
Okay.
my
Oh boy.
1968
Wow.
Time magazine cover. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would actually meet you.
May I?
Yes, you
There
may.
you go, Will. We can put this in my.
You're keeping it? That's mine. Hey, don't make me fight you, Aretha Franklin.
You would get knocked out.
What?
Miss Franklin don't play.
Here comes Jose with the bill.
Okay.
If you don't excuse me, you invited me.
Wow. Let's see some other shady moments. Shh, 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 shh.
I am. That's so stupid. So when I say the name Adele, what comes to mind? Just
Young
one word.
singer, good singer.
Alicia Keys,
Young performer, good writer, producer.
Taylor Swift,
Okay, great gowns, beautiful gowns.
Whitney Houston.
Whitney was a talent, definitely a talent. She had a gift. And Sissy's baby.
And let's sort of change genres a little bit. Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj. No, I'm gonna pass on that one.
The Queen of Soul, Miss Aretha Franklin.
I see these different shows from show to show, but I don't see any of the major names as a singer judging singers.
And she's going to be making $18 million for 1 year.
You think so?
We know so.
Do you know that? How do you know that?
Well, that's what we have it confirmed through a source very close to her.
Okay, I was going to say inside sources.
Little
Would that be your husband?
She's the
$100 million.
She's the highest paid judge on television.
Limited flying hindered your career in recent years?
It has not hindered my career at all. Miss Franklin can get around. I have been everywhere, believe me, on this bus. Everywhere except across the ocean.
I want to touch that TV and start kissing it.
Okay.
Just walk up in and hog a little time and say hello and tell you that I love you. Okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
I love you.
All right. Is this Fox 2?
If you could see Adele cover one of your classics, what song do you think she could pull off?
Well, hopefully one I wrote and published.
My very first concert in my whole life as a kid, I don't know how my parents let me go out with my friend Steve, was your concert.
Now, how old are you?
How old are you? Old enough. Do you ever remember being?
Okay.
You know how I dance? I'd be like, rock,
Step back.
steady. That's what we do. You thought that Halle Berry would be great playing you, and Halle said something to the effect of, I can't sing, so I wouldn't be able to do Miss Franklin justice.
I knew she couldn't sing.
Yes.
Never expected her to. Could be Fantasia, could be Jennifer.
Queen Latifah?
Don't know.
Well, I need this movie to get done, and then I want to play like a secretary or something.
Would you be interested in helping to finance it?
Oh, well, Miss Franklin, I'm only in the second season of my show.
Okay, check's not big enough yet.
Would you like to get married again?
Of course, I love marriage. Love the institution.
You seem like the type of woman who still falls and can get as stupid as the rest of us girls.
Do you think I'm gullible?
I think that you can be.
Well,
with the right man.
Yeah, no, I'm not gullible. You get stupid. I'm not going to be stupid.
I'm 50. I'm like,
what?
Yes, I'm 50, baby.
I love you, girl. You go, girl.
I'm so 50, baby. I'm 49.
How do you know you're 50?
I'm 49. But you 54? I'm 55, but I didn't want to tell nobody. I am actually 49, but I'm still
49 because we're the same age.
And Aretha was definitely serving them up that night.
Looking out on the morning rain.
We did Natural Woman at the end of the show. Here we are on a stage full of divas, and Aretha's, as she will tend to do, God bless her, sort of taking over. And the part where Selena was supposed to sing, here's Aretha still singing.
Life was so kind.
And when Aretha sang the work that Selena was supposed to do, Selena just got right up under her and sang it.
Ross and the Supremes and the Four Tops and Jackie Wilson, all of them. All of you guys are in the same neighborhood together.
Yeah, and be careful, don't touch me up top here.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, Di.
You go, girl.
Let's see if we can find one more. This one.
I just don't even know what to do. I want to touch that TV and start kissing it.
Okay. Just walk up in and hog a little time and say hello and tell you that I love you. Okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
I love you.
All right. Is this Fox 2?
This is, you're talking to Jason Carr. How are you this morning?
I'm sorry?
I said, how are you this morning? Is, off to...
I'm very well. Are you Fox 2?
Yes, we are. And we want to talk about your new album, Diva Songs.
Yes,
how did this come about?
This is Gene Robinson. I'm never starstruck on the show. I am starstruck right now. But, why did you decide to do this to these poor other singers, right? Because you are...
Why'd you want to take those particular songs
on? Mr. Davis, Clive Davis, the chairman of J Records, ARETHA, RCA, brought the concept to me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Oh, okay. Brought the concept with a list of songs. And can you turn that down for the moment?
Yes. Guys, control, let's turn it down. Come on.
Could you turn that down?
Speaking. Let's turn it down. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You just don't take their songs and redo them. You put your own twist on them, but you also do a mashup. Talk about that between songs.
I do a what?
What's the key to not only withstanding the test of time, but touching generations while staying relevant?
Would you say that again, the last part?
Yeah, really the key to touching generations and still staying relevant throughout the years.
Okay. And what is it you'd like to know about that?
How do you do that?
How do I stay? Okay, right. Listen, I only had 4 hours sleep. Okay, I'm a little slow. But,
no problem, lady.
If you could see Adele cover one of your classics, what song do you think she could pull off?
Well, hopefully one I wrote and published.
I want to see your new respect.
Yep.
Miss Franklin, can you hear us?
Okay, I can hear you now.
All right. Okay. Let me tell you something. Somebody shared with me on Twitter your cover
Adele sells a lot of records. Okay.
My very first concert in my whole life as a kid, I don't know how my parents let me go out with my friend Steve, was your concert.
Now, how old are you?
How old are you? Old enough. Do you ever remember being? Do you ever remember being?
Okay.
Do you ever remember being in Wichita, Kansas?
What is that?
Do you remember being in Wichita, Kansas?
No.
Oh.
That was anticlimactic.
I thought for sure you were looking at me. I was on the second row.
You just broke his heart.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
She sounds sincere.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, it's great having you, and we'll make sure we turn on the music when you're speaking. We'll not upset you again, Miss Franklin.
Okay.
We'll take care of you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
By the way, here's the album.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let me find one more. Wait a minute. Let's see. We'll listen to this one. They had a feud. No. Well, we'll do this one. Oh, Lord, she got so big there.
One of the things I think your fans love so much about you is that you tell it like it is. And I love how you came out recently and said, you know what, American Idol, you all need me.
Well, I wasn't exactly saying that, but I wouldn't mind being a judge. I think that some of the leading singers should judge singers.
Now, they have came out and named...
I think we saw that one already. Nothing new. Nothing new. Nothing new. Nothing new. All right. I'm going to the chat. All right. Woo-wee. So we got cupcakes. J Babies. Hello, long time no see. Rolling Stone magazine named Aretha's voice the most influential in rock and roll ever. All right. Yeah, that was pretty funny with Wendy Williams. Girly girl, what's going on? ATL Streets, hey? Yeah, beautiful gowns. No, she did fly in 2002 because she had to go sing for the Queen. And Northwest Airlines, they put together some things to help her with it. And she got over there by plane. She used to fly all the time until she was on one of those little rickety planes. And it was a bad flight. And she vowed that if she ever got out the sky alive, she will never get back up there. But yeah, she rode that bus all over this daggone country. Yes, she did. Aretha Franklin. Listen. Michael's gone. Whitney's gone. Luther's gone. Prince is gone. Aretha's gone. These are the very few of the best that has ever done it. Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul, rest in peace. Surely you will be missed. I'm out.